going on?
So this field here was most recently in strawberries. It's second year picking strawberries. But this is, the soil is quite fluffy, a little bit dark. It always looks wet, but it's not always wet. And so we took out the strawberries. It was its second picking year. We took the strawberries out, say the 1st of August, and say 7 days or so it was into rye. So this is just a fall rye, and that's what we usually follow our strawberries with.
Just to hold the soil in place, build a little organic matter, suck up some nutrition.
Yeah. So I when I get asked, because I'm not an expert, when they ask me, why do you do it or what's it for, I say, well, it keeps the soil in place. So for erosion, water, wind a little bit. We could get a little bit of wind erosion in this field, believe it or not. I've seen it. But also for organic matter, so the biomass underneath in the roots, to use up excess nutrients. So if there's excess or there's always excess phosphorus here, to kind of use that up a little bit. With rye, it's a bit about the weed control and the effect that the roots, is it the roots that secrete?
Both,
excrete?
Yeah. So the whole plant, as it decomposes, is allelopathic and will inhibit weed germination. Yeah, I mean, like looking at this, there's a little bit of corn spurry, I guess.
Which is a big one on our farm.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's pretty good and weed free.
Yeah.
And what you always want to see is like a nice root ball on that. Like this is where a lot of your more stable organic matter is going to be formed, is on those roots.
Okay.
Like when you pull up roots and you see how you've got like soil kind of coating those roots.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like that's because the roots are excreting like sugars, and the microbes are like glomming onto it, and that's really where your more stable organic matter starts to form. I think that's really nice looking.
Okay. I love growing cover crops. It's so different from what I grow.
Yeah. Don't have to pick them.
Really, there's no stress with growing a cover crop, and the cost is minimal. Yes, if you're doing it, you got to buy seed, but it's minimal.
Yeah.
For I think what we'll get back long term.
Yeah.
I think it's minimal.
Yeah.
And around here, this will feed the moose.
There you go.
Yeah. Keep them out of everything else.
That's true. You can use your cover crops as a trap crop.
Yeah.
To keep them out of out of your other cash crops. Yeah.
But what's amazed me this year is the difference, when it was planted, and even across this field, for example, it's an acre and a half. And I'm standing here in this part that was strawberries, and that part over there was beets. This was planted earlier, but that's much more vigorous looking from where I'm standing.
Yeah.
That piece over there on the same field. And even here, this stretch down the side, maybe it's moisture, but that pass with the cedar is more vigorous than over here. So it gives a visual of what's going on, and not that I'm equipped yet to interpret that story, but it tells a bit that there's something going on, that this is wetter or more fertile over there than right here, and down a little further is a wet hole, and beside this other piece I'm referring to beside us was planted later, and had more fertility added to it, growing the beets, whereas this wouldn't have had any this year. So is that why that's doing that, or is it just better soil there than right here? It's these cover crops kind of tell us stuff that's going on, and we just have to figure it out. What it is.
Yeah. Well, it helps you kind of predict your cropping patterns too for subsequent crops.
Yes.
Like watch out for that wet hole. Maybe it's not even worth putting anything in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a pretty good stand of rye, I thought, too.
Yeah.
Maybe in a little early.
And so you're just kind of like sticking cover crops in where a window opens up
according to what I have.
according to what you have, which is perfect, right? Like,
Yeah. So I've been buying the rye. So we've been cover cropping loosely this is our 9th season, so probably 8 of those 9 years.
wow, okay.
And so this year when we met you, it was the first year I sort of dove deep into it. And I had already planned to buy a tote of rye, fall rye, because we have about 50 acres on the go, and a good part of it was going to get cropped. My goal was any land that's not got something in it up until the end of September is going to get something put on it.
Nice.
And now, anything that's left isn't, because I'm out of seed too.
Uh-huh.
But so we dove deep this year by moved from bags to totes of it. So I think it was 600 pounds, or it was 1,200 pound tote I got. Quite affordable. And so I even extended it a week. I think it was, there's a piece of carrot ground over there that I finally got in maybe the 5th of October or something like that. And usually the end date is about the 26th of September, 16th of September. Last year I put some in later, but it had turned wet, and so it didn't do great. This year it's been beautiful, warm, and just enough moisture at the right times, and so I was able to do it later. And if we get a chance to look at those, we'll look at them. You can see the three different planting periods, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So I'm experimenting. Plus the stuff we've been working with you on.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
That's super cool. Let's go look at that beet ground. I want to see it.
Yeah.